Have you ever felt like you're running out of time? You thought by now you'd be at a certain point in life, but you're not quite there yet. Not even close. Let me tell you why you're wasting your time. I felt this way when I was 25. I was looking around at everyone, seeing that they were living the life that I wanted. And some of them even were living the life that I wanted, and they hadn't even turned 21 yet. Social media can be a devil in this, showing us the next big sensation who is ticking off every single box that you always wanted to achieve, and you're not even close to ticking off just one of those things. You feel like you're still on level 2 whilst they've just jumped up to level 30. And it doesn't feel very fair, but life isn't fair. And there's something that you need to remember. You are not that person. You are a completely different person with a completely different background. You've had completely different experiences. You live probably in a very different area to them. And why are you spending so much time watching somebody else? You have a different starting point. And that probably means you also have a different method. And some people sometimes, they get where they are because of luck. However, most people get where they want because they put in the work. No one ever achieves anything with a half-hearted input. So you have to be honest with yourself and say, am I putting in the work? If the answer is no, then now's the time to start. It's never too late, but the sooner you start, the better. But if the answer is yes and you have been putting in the work, are you getting the results that you want? Because if you're not, then maybe you need to change your method. There comes a time when you have to realize, is what I'm doing now actually working? This is what successful entrepreneurs do. They will trial something for a little while, but if they don't see the results going in the direction that they need it to go, they will change their method. And then after all these trials and tests, eventually it will start heading in the direction they wanted. Of course, you still need time to let things develop. It's like when you go to the gym. When you start working out, for the first few weeks and even months, you're not really going to be seeing any results. You're going to keep going back to that mirror, checking to see if your abs have started to come through. But eventually there does become a tipping point, and after that consistency, it will start to show. And so if we go back to the person that went viral, on the surface we think, well, they went viral, they were lucky. But what we forget is that behind the scenes, they spent a lot of time learning their craft. They spent the time maybe learning the chords or editing techniques or looking at things that can make their platform become more reachable. But what you can see is just the surface of the success, and you think to yourself, why can't that be me? I get it. Life in this age has this feeling like we need to achieve it now. And because everything is so fast paced, we think that we're running out of time. But actually, we are not. We are in a very fortunate position where there are so many things that we can do nowadays that previous generations couldn't do as much. It does mean that there is more competition, but that also means there is more opportunities. And as I said, some things do still take time, and how much time differs from person to person. And sometimes we need a little bit more time to learn some life lessons that will help us evolve and actually become better. And you've probably heard it before, but you are still young in the grand schemes of life. If you think about it, we are only 25% into our whole lifespan. And if you're not where you thought you'd be at, it's okay. There are so many people that all feel exactly the same way. Probably even the people that you're looking at that you think have achieved the successful point of life. I think when we're younger, we think that success is going to be easy if we just stick to one thing. But we don't think about the nuances in life where we are going to face challenges and hurdles. But that doesn't mean to say that we're not going to get there. It's like when you climb a mountain, it feels strenuous, but you do still get to the top. No matter how long it took, you do still reach the summit. So you haven't ruined your chances, you're just gonna get it later. And you also need to remember that not everything is in your control. So that's why it's important to acknowledge where you are right now and appreciate it. Why make yourself miserable looking at all the things that you've not yet achieved when you can be grateful for where you currently are? Relish in the moment of the stage that you've gotten to. Because someone else might be wishing right now to get to the stage where you're at right now. Maybe you've overcome something and you've gotten to the other side. Appreciate that. Give yourself some credit. You should celebrate it. And once you're done giving yourself a little credit, then refocus. maybe even replan, and go and make it happen. Because we all know how life can change a lot in just 1 year. So imagine how life can be in the next 10. Who's to say you won't get there? And the final point that I'd like to make is that sometimes we change our minds, and that's okay. I'm sure we all had wild dreams when we were younger of how our lives were going to be, and maybe we even had a few dreams that now we're not really so sure on. That doesn't mean that you're behind, it just means that things are different now. Not everyone wants a house or kids or marriage or to check off a successful career. Some people are just happy with very few things and they don't want anything else. At the end of it, what really matters is that you're happy. You're content with how your life is, and the choices that you've made don't hold any regrets. And I think that is a very successful place to be.